Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Jessica here, and today we are going to do a 18-hour Brainstorm-a-thon. Okay, so it's about 4 o'clock right now, and I have until 10 o'clock tomorrow before I'm able to go to bed. So if you are new to my channel, I work graves. If you're not, I've said it before, on the weekends I do like to try and stay up all night Saturday so that I can kind of prepare myself for the work week. So it is about 4 p.m. right now, and I'm gonna work until 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, just so I can try and stay awake, and that's 18 hours. And during all of that, I want to work on brainstorming. And so I haven't gotten a lot done. I think the last time I talked to you, I did farmed animals, and then I started creating diversity, or maybe I didn't. I can't remember if I was on day 2 or 3, but either way, I only completed another 1.5 days worth of prompts. So I did the 4th and the 5th day, which for the 4th day it was natural predators and monopolies, and then the 5th day was climate and seasons. So I'm trying to finish the rest of the days up until the 12th, which is going to be technically tomorrow when I do go to bed. So looking at my September calendar, this is it. So we're gonna finish here, and then we're gonna start here and then try and finish up until this day. So highlighted means it's done, unhighlighted means it's not, obviously. So yeah, let's see, climate and seasons I started, but I feel like that's one of the things that I have to start writing the story to know more about. Monopolies, does your magic system or your religious system want to be, what's the word? Are they strict about being the sole belief system? Or are they lenient and allow your magic system or your belief system to know more than one or believe in more than one? So yeah, mine's like halfway. There's people for experiencing others or like learning about others, and there are people who are against it and completely strict, and they want them to stay in their own groups. So that's going to create more conflict, but that's one of the main reasons, or like one of the main conflict things that's going to push my story forward. Natural predators, so kind of like you're in the wild, a lion's going to go for the deer or the antelope or whatever it is. I don't know my animals that well, but you get the gist. So what natural predators are in your world, and how do your characters avoid those natural predators, or how do they defeat them if they are face to face with them? And then creating diversity, I think I've talked about before, where how diverse is your world? Are there different beings? Are they all humans? Are there different groups of humans? Are there different groups of magic? Things like that. Whereas in my world there is. And I know that like as I'm like brainstorming and I'm realizing how diverse my whole world is, it's a lot, and it's honestly overwhelming. So I think like I started to name a few, and I started thinking about a few, But it's one of those things, again, where I'm going to have to write, like start drafting my story before I get the full view of how diverse my world truly is. So yeah, and then so right now we're gonna say hour 1. So hour 1, we are gonna finish day 5, which we're gonna do exclusivity and inclusion, and that's gonna be from this workbook. I will link both these workbooks down below. I highly, highly, highly recommend if you're writing a fantasy story, or even like any fiction story, because realistically you can use all of these prompts even if it's set in our current world. There are a few prompts that you don't even think about, and as you're writing they will probably come up. So highly recommend these. That's what I'm working on or through. So yeah, let's get to it. Okay, so the tools that I'm using are these Zebra Sarasa clip pens in the 0.5. I'm using the purple, the teal, the darker pink, and then the darker blue mainly. For extra notes that are not going to be part of the color code system, I do have the light pink and the light blue. And then I have these Yeeson highlighters. I don't know if that's a Y or a V, but we're gonna say it's a Y. So I have them to match the pens. Sorry, OCD, but yeah, so here's that brand. I got these highlighters off of Amazon, and then I got these in a pack. There was 7. Yeah, 7, because I have a black one somewhere. There was 7 of these, and then a corresponding mild liner highlighter in it as well. So there was 7 of those mild liner highlighter pens, as well as 7 of these, and I think I got those at Walmart. So, but yeah, so I've got those. That's what I'm using to kind of highlight, and then I'm also highlighting here. Oops, I just ripped that page. So this is it in the list format. So if I've started it, like you can see here, if I start it, I highlight it, and then if I finish, I just draw a check mark. So the pink is going to represent the world building book prompts. The purple is going to represent the extra prompts that are in the back of that, and then the blue is going to represent this one, and then the teal is more of like miscellaneous notes, extra things, as well as, let's see, the books that I'm reading. So I am reading through, right now this is the current book that I mean, you can see I've got quite a few tabs, but I'm not even halfway through. I'm only that much part way through, whatever. I'm only 36 pages in. So whenever I do sit down and fully read, I do like to take notes, and so the teal is going to represent that, as well as anything else that's not one of the 3 books, basically, or like the 3 writing prompts sections or whatever. So yeah, those are the tools, and then like I said, I'm using these 2 books, and then this is my writer's notebook. I will link what I can down below in the description if I remember. So yeah, anyways, let's get to brainstorming. It's a brainstorming fiesta. Okay. And then, so I do know that I only have maybe 30 pages left. So I do have this here, and if I need to, I will finish setting this up during these 18 hours. So, ta-da! Let's do this. really quickly. This is just what I have in my writer's notebook, figuring out a way to track this 18 hours. So I did I mean, it's not perfect. It's really just me plopping something down. But, so I did a box for each hour, and then the start of every hour is at the bottom. So we're in the first hour, which started at 4 p.m. So once that is complete, then I will, or I don't know, I think I'll just fill it in once I start the hour, I think. Because then once that's full, then I know that I completed it. Sorry guys, I'm already tired and I don't know how this is gonna work, but I'm gonna keep pushing through. I'm gonna drink lots of coffee in my Halloween mug, even though, again, it's the beginning of September, but you know what? It's spooky season already. I got this at Burlington for like $3.99, and I love it. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So, but anyways, this is how I'm gonna track it every hour. I'm gonna fill in a box, and hopefully I have all of these boxes complete. So basically, if I'm working on my brainstorming, I'll fill in the box for that hour. And if not, like if I decide to read a book, because I'm currently on this book and I do want to finish it before the week starts. It's called Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. And I'm like 2/3 of the way through. So yeah, I want to finish that. And I think that I would be fried if I just did nothing but brainstorming. But we'll see. We'll see. I need to probably make some more coffee. Yeah, I need to make more coffee and continue brainstorming. There's me in my mirror, kind of ish. But yeah, so I have this all set up, kind of how I need it. I just need a bigger desk, I think. Okay, enough procrastinating. Time to get on with brainstorming. Okay, so it is the second hour. It is after 5 o'clock. I'm still working on exclusivity and inclusion. I stopped to make more coffee. I also had dinner, if you could even call it that. I ate a lunch bowl. And I'm trying to wake up. I'm tired, so I need to wake up. But I don't know, like I'm sitting here and I'm seeing everything that I need to do, and I'm starting to feel overwhelmed by the amount of stuff that I have to do. And I don't know, I'm happy and excited about this world, but the details, like finalizing all the little details, is proven to be a lot. I mean, I'm not gonna stop brainstorming. I'm gonna keep powering through, and I know that it'll help, but right now in this moment, it's a lot. So I need to rein it in, I think. I'm not gonna worry so much as my end goal of trying to finish basically a week's worth of prompts, and each day being 2 days. So I'm just gonna go one by one. I already, let's see, colored in and highlighted that. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna highlight the time so I'll know I started it, and then once the hour is complete, then fill in the square. And I'm kind of just going through the highlighters as like in the order that I have them set up in. So yeah, I'm just gonna do that. Sorry, my chair just spins, and when I'm sitting, that's just what I love to do, I guess. I don't know. It's a form of fidgeting that I do. Anyways, as you can tell, I am out of it. I am tired. So I need to, I don't know what I need to do. I think that to get out of my head for, I don't know, maybe I'll read a chapter out of this. I'm going to finish the exclusivity and inclusion prompt first, then I'm going to read a chapter, depending on the chapter length. Yeah, I'm going to finish off this prompt, and then read a little bit, and maybe, I don't know, I might even decide to go on to the next prompt, because this one, so from Sanctity to Sorcery, this one I think is split up into three groups. Like, let's see, I'll show you what I mean. Yeah, so basically 3 sections: fitting into society, nuts and bolts, and the people. So this is the last prompt in the fitting into society section, and then maybe once I move on to the next section, I will be able to wake up and actually work on it, just because this, I don't know, the society part, because it is kind of repetitive as I am brainstorming and I'm repeating information, I'm kind of getting bored with it, and I don't want to be bored with it. And even though it's all fitting into place and being woven in, it's now to the point where I'm over this section and I just want to move on to the next one. So yeah, that was just a quick check-in. When I'm done with this prompt, I will check in again to let you know what I decide for sure. I'm almost done with this coffee. I think I do need to switch to tea, which I have some over there set up. And then I just got to take out my electric tea kettle. I think it's just a form of procrastination. Procrastination station. I'm there. Okay, I've finished working on exclusivity and inclusion, and I am deciding to continue on to the next prompt. The next prompt is trade routes and travel, and that's going to be in this book. So the way I'm doing it is I'm alternating between books. So I will do a prompt from the world building one, and then I'll do a prompt from the sorcery one. And that's why you'll see at least 2. Some of them you'll see 3 whenever I throw in that extra prompt from the world building. But every day there's the 2 colors, the pink and the blue, which my blue pen is really frustrating me. This one keeps skipping, so I'm gonna probably have to switch that up if I'm gonna continue. So right now, so day 12 in the world building book is trade routes and travel. So we have to go back to our map, which I did my map on day 2. So day 2 of the prompts was draw your map, which I have done. Let's see, it's not the best, like, it's far from the best, but this is the map of the main island, and then this is how the little islands all connect. So what they want me to do is go through on my map and think about the trade routes and the travel. So it says, how do people travel around your map, and how do they transport goods, small goods and large heavy goods, and all of that. So it'll also entirely depend on the technology available in your world. So while I am pretty much creating the islands by myself, hold on, backtrack, fumbling over my words. The island is basically where I'm doing the majority of the world building. So I do have a second map in here, and it's just a print of Seattle, because that's going to be where my mainland is set. So there's going to be the mainland, which is going to be Seattle, Washington, and then the islands, which are the islands that I'm creating myself. So while I don't really have to think about the different world building aspects when it comes to the mainland, I really do have to fully think about them on the islands. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm noticing that as I'm brainstorming and doing all of this, I keep referring, so I'll do the mainland and it'll be a simple like, oh, it's basically whatever the humans do. That's it. So instead of wasting my time and writing that, I already know. So as I'm continuing on from now on throughout all these prompts, if it's a prompt where it has to be, sorry, I'm like super scatterbrained and I'm really tired. I may have to take a nap or something. I'm hop in the shower, wake up a little bit, but I'm like really struggling, guys. Sorry. So anyways, what I'm saying is, like the prompt I'm about to do right now, the trade routes and travel, I'm obviously not going to do that with the mainland. I'm only going to do it with the islands. And while I'm working on that, I'm also, they want me to look at the map and do that, but I don't know how to properly go about it, because maybe I need to redo my map. I don't know. Hold on. Hey guys, so I just finished the prompt for exclusivity and inclusion, and I'm deciding to go ahead and continue on to the next one, and I'm doing prompt number 12 in the 30 days of world building, and it's trade routes and travel. They want me to go back to my map, which I have. So I have 2 maps, well technically 3. You know what, it'll be easier to show you. So the mainland where my story is going to be at is Seattle. So I have a map of Seattle in here, and then I have my islands. So I've got the main island and then all the little ones that are going to be kind of branched off that island. When it comes to world building, obviously Seattle's already been created. Everything there is created. Their trade routes, their travel, how, like, where they get their food, where they work. Like, it's a society that's already been created and in a world that we live in today. So I don't really have to do much world building for that part, but when it comes to the island, I'm creating it from scratch. Everything is being built up by me, and it's also, and the islands are also a place where there's absolutely no technology because of the dense magic on them, whatever. But, and also technology, the waves from technology kind of dampen the magic, and the main island can't have any interference like that. And that's because of the ceremonies that take place there. It needs to be technology free. So when it comes to trade routes and travel, one of the things to know for mine is that the islands haven't always been opened up. I mean, they used to be, but then the big incident happens and then they closed up. No outsiders, no mainlanders. If you decided to leave the island after the incident, the generations even after you can't come back. So, but more recently, in the last 50 years or so, the island has decided to open up, but its security is extensive and it's hard to be able to get on the island and make it through the security system alive, basically. So, but they have tried to open up a little bit. So now they are starting to do their trades again with the mainland, whereas before everything was just set on the islands. Like, they either magically created it, which there are boundaries with the magic, especially when it comes to food. So that's something I have to think about, and that's what I'm talking about, how there's just so much, and a lot of it is little things, but all those little things add up. And I'm like, how in depth do I really want to do the world building? How in depth do I actually need? So, because realistically, over half of the stuff that I'm building up and brainstorming, readers aren't actually gonna know. It's more of for me to know, so that when I am writing and I do come to a place, I already have it thought out, or at least started. So yeah, I just feel like I'm very rambly, but just wanted to check in, let you know I'm still gonna continue on. So yeah, brainstorming away. Go ahead, join me with this next prompt, trade routes and travel. Basically, it's create your map of the place that you want your world to be in, and then look at your map and create your little travel routes. And what are they using to travel with? What kind of technology does your world have that helps the traveling routes and the trade routes and things like that? So let's get to it. Done with trade routes and travel, and then the next prompt was important trade towns. So with the important trade towns, you got to think about where your markets are. What towns are the best for trade, basically, and then what routes are the easiest to travel through and things like that. So that one's done. Those two are pretty simple, just because, yeah, I have technically 6 islands. There's one main one, and that main one is where the market is. All the other islanders from the other islands have to go to the mainland and do their trading, just because each island has a specific thing, and they just go there, they meet in the middle and trade there. So that was pretty simple. And so the most important trade town would be the main island. So that was pretty straightforward. The next prompt that I'm doing is names, titles, and specialist terms. So with this, it's pretty much just you starting to finalize the names. The big one would be name your religion or your magic system. It could be named after the founder or another important leader. It might be named after a central aspect or principle. Your magic system might be named after the source of its power, or your religion might be named after its deity, or a collective name for several deities. So and then what else? Like, this one has a lot, actually, so just a sec, let me finish reading it and then I will explain it to you guys. So when creating names and titles in your specialist terms, you have to think about your reader's learning curve. So every term that you throw in and your reader reads, it's like the learning curve gets steeper because they're learning more and more. So don't info dump, obviously, but when it comes to these words that you're creating, which obviously you're going to name your system, you're going to name like your government, your religion. You can also name subgroups of your magic system and your religion, the different denominations, the artifacts, the texts, and then creating your magical words and special words recited during ceremonies and things like that. And ceremonies is going to be a big part of my story, so that's something I have to think about as well. But you got to learn to balance it, is what this is saying. Many writers choose to include a glossary in their books. So as an urban fantasy writer, I haven't even thought about that. And that's what I mean by these books are making me think of things that I probably would have never thought of. So depending on how many words I end up creating, or like different aspects of the island life and the different faction names, the magic names, I may include a glossary of sorts, or like on my map explain the different factions and things like I don't know. That's something that I really do need to think of, and I guess now I can kind of start thinking of it. I'm not really using a bunch of okay, some of the spells are going to be made up. That's because I have different lengths of words for different stages of magic, I guess you would say. So yeah, section 2 of this book is coming out with a bang and already overwhelming, but I'm gonna get to it. I think for now I'm not going to focus so much on like the spells and the specialist words. So this is pretty much going to be one of those prompts where I can do half of it, but the other half is going to be more of me creating it as I'm writing my story. So I'm going to figure out the name of the islands, because I can't just keep calling them the islands. So I'm going to figure out the names of the islands. I'm going to figure out kind of the names of the magic system, the names of like the different subgroups and things like that. So yeah, I hope you guys still are trekking along as much as I am, and if you're doing these prompts as well, let me know. Sorry, I'm like stuttering over my words, I'm getting tongue-tied. This video is going to be a hot mess. It's okay. We've got this. I'm still brainstorming. I'm still getting through it. And I know you guys can do this too. I'm doing research on some of the words and the names in different languages. I'm leaning more towards Latin or Scottish Gaelic, whatever. But this is one of the ones that I actually don't think that I'm going to be able to fully get to until I start writing the story. Yeah, or I just don't have like the brain power. I think, you know what, I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna go hop in the shower, I think, or do some reading. I think I need to step away from this for a minute, wake up a little bit, because I'm like half-assing the brainstorming right now, and I need to not. I need to be fully into it and fully involved. But yeah, like, I have such a hard time naming anything, and because I decided to start completely from scratch, I'm not used. I may use some of the names still, but as of right now, nothing has a name. The bad guys don't have a name. The good guys no longer have a name. My main character, she doesn't even have a name anymore. So there's that. Yeah, so I'm gonna take a break. I think a break would be nice. Get out of my head and out of this for just a moment. And then try and wake up some more. Like, I really need to wake up. Yeah, okay. Hey friends, future me here editing this vlog. I'm actually gonna cut it into 2 parts, just because it will be way too long if I continue on from there. But I feel like this would be a good spot to stop it at. So I hope you guys enjoy. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more, please subscribe down below. I will see you guys in part 2.